Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, amazing, spectacular Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda, hero of sight, defender of the fatherland. Our theatre glorious 1v1 on Kholodny Ferma. In the east it is Use-m246, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here with the 7th Panzer Division, with Festung armour, elite troops, and spearhead, with triple infantry vessel west it is MajorKusanagi. Fighting here for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, Communist Stalin. Here with the 12th Tank Corps, featuring airborne troops, Serb Reserve Army, and Guard Motor with triple infantry. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my patrons and supporters, these champions, these heroes of the Propagandacast, for giving the business. You too can join the ranks by pledging on Patreon, or you can donate via PayPal and follow the example of so many lovely people like Patrick, who has support donated here recently as well, so big thanks to him, of course. Otherwise, you can comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button, keep the YouTube algorithms flowing forever in my favour. Gun DMD42 versus double conscripts. We got here the Pawnee setting up, backed up the M42 and the Grenadiers of North East, conscript barbed wire being laid down there. Conscripting south, it's there for Kusanagi. Pawnees moving forwards. Third conscript there for Kusanagi. Barbed wire up there. Point this east. Heading southwards to the conscripts. Standard stuff here so far. No engagement, just both places looking to show as much as possible. In this case, of course, look to deny precious cover to the enemy. Thumbs up there to Use-m246. Punishment up there again. More barbed wire off there. Second gun is almost done. Some players tend to be much more important with barbed wire. For example, both Kusanagi here and so far Use-m246 are very much barbed wire men. There's some commanders and players in return, aren't quite so keen on barbed wire. So, it varies from player to player, but it is worth noting again there are some significant differences there. Second gun is going north, it's going to catch the Indonesia by the northern point. Spreading out his forces thinly, and in fact leaving here centre wide open, could lead him up to a push by Kusanagi, though so far Kusanagi I think is not within the realm to do that, but he could, and that could leave Use in a bit of a tight spot. Fourth conscript here could indicate the airborne troops or Serb Reserve Army to upgrade all the conscripts. Of course, could be he's just going to go for Guard mode because the T-3035s are great. But anyway, Scamsing and send ME42 grenades catching the conscript there by center victory point, trying to rush through here. Again, not a lot of cover, there's still some here. The Pawnees did not finish the work entirely. Conflanking from north here, catching Use's force there in a slight pinstream maneuver. Far south, Pawnees from sandbags there. Third grenade squad right here for Use, quickly backing up the machine gun. There you go, put stops to that, but there you go, conscript on the flank. Forcing here, Use react as we got more troops arriving here from several sides. Engagement heats up, but I think Kusanagi honestly should back off from this engagement. Or maybe not. I'm surprised to see the Use has repositioned that machine. It's allowed to come just getting lots of free hits there. Grenadiers fighting around there. Grenadiers flanking around there. Flame on the way. They're getting things a lot more dicey here for Use-m246. Grenadiers taking loss there. Go. Flame for team up ready. And we got Molotovs as well here. Kusanagi going for a pretty heavy tier 1 here in terms of like combat prowess. Or combat sort of fighting power up north. Guns with the countries there. A lot of fighting here though. Engineers falling back, constantly being held up by M42, but Use actually ended up not quite doing well in this engagement as Kusanagi just delivers a ton of firepower, looking to just gain the upper hand. And there you go, Grenadiers got routed. One other push back, leaving just the Grenadiers and M42 here for Use-m246 in the south. Pawnees with a flank push back Kusanagi's forces, though of course that does mean he won't have a mine sweeper in case Kusanagi starts chucking down mines. Which is very likely if he doesn't go for, say, airborne troops, or these, in which case he's going to go for Guard motor, I suppose. Nears rapidly here, going the point here, punishment here with it, but a flaming effort, but still, Use narrowly prevents a breakthrough or collapse here. Still taking quite a beating there. We are seeing some of Kusanagi's force being pushed back here as Use strikes back for Deutschland. In the centre, Grenadier force moving in there, go conscript laying down sandbags and push back. Grenadiers reinforced moving northwards. Bunker up, bit short on the reefs. Oh, he actually has tagged up there. Retreating the Pawnees and the MD42. So a lot of retreating troops here. We got medics up there for Kusanagi and the Red Army. And we got the 2 Grenadier squads being dispatched northwards here for Use-m246. No upgrade there yet. Sees in the centre. South there not being quite secured. Bit short on the munitions for the medics. I like to make a nice company, could be an idea. There we go. Guessing an armoured car here from Use-m246, of course, could be a half-track. Half-tracks are nice, but do tend to get overlooked a bit, in my opinion. But there you go, Guard mode of Kusanagi, so no upgrades for the conscripts, besides the 7 upgrade, but of course also more likely means munitions than being used for, say, mines. T for the 35s, heavy mortars, guards rifle infantry, vehicle repair training, and the marked vehicle ability, all part of the Guard mode doctrine. Pretty much one of the most used sort of doctrines, been around since the game was, started out with, and it's just been typically very popular because it's just very, handy. Just very solid. Enforcing it back up the Grenadiers here. Good machine gun play there, at least fairly solid machine gun play there by Use. Thumbs up. Armored on the way there up north. Grenadiers being attacked by the engineers. In the south here, point being seized. Grenadiers pioneers saying towards the centre. There's the engineers. And we got the guard squad over there for Kusanagi. In the south here, got pioneers for the conscripts. In the south here, constantly about, they're going to hit the cut-off point, possibly just go straight for the fuel point, but cut-off point I think is more likely. Conscripts slowly burned out here in the centre. More guns arriving there. As up north, the assault is being called off here for Use-m246. Armoured car round, there's going to be a problem here for Kusanagi's forces, but there you go, centre collapse here as the conscripts pretty much force Use to haul his ass out of there. Armoured car round, conscripts rushing straight ahead, but they're going to get the cut-off point rendered neutral, cutting off Use here from precious fuel resources versus Kusanagi. Armoured car, as you notice, is doing some serious damage to the autocannon and correction machine gun, leaving many of Kusanagi's frontovics dead in the dirt. North here, contributing forwards there. March being laid down, thumbs up. Again, will punish here. Use-m246 going for that flamethrower. Of course, it gives him more combat power now, but he will be vulnerable to mines by quite a bit. Guards on that push back the armoured car, the 222, 222, was an armoured car chassis based off a, non-armoured car chassis the German army used. Basically just up armoured. There were numerous variations on it. Of course, you had the 221, the 222, and the 223. Plus, there was a more, shall I say, workshop modified version, I believe, that used a either large anti-tank rifle or small anti-tank, depending on who you're asking. But which I believe could not turn its turret to use it. Getting northwards there. A bit of skirmish in there. Guards up in the church. Definitely a problem for the armoured car so far. Kusanagi's managed to get himself a fat check on the map here from Use, and Use definitely needs to get swinging soon here versus Kusanagi. Light machine gun up, so possibly either festering armor here or spearhead versus Kusanagi. Meanwhile, back at base, got the pump company for Kusanagi starting to take up here. Southern pumping seas with the Grenadiers. Up north, probes being made, though the pioneers do suffer some losses as Friedrich and Rudolf get blown to bits. There go more pioneers and a mortar. Pioneers, I imagine he's going to go there for the minesweepers. Of course, also repair speed later on for more armor. And of course, the mortar's going to be great for helping sort of, punching some hole in Kusanagi's lines. So, definitely not a bad idea. And there you go, pioneers out. I imagine we'll be seeing that minesweeper any time now. Granada and everything hold forward here, but uses men. Up north, Grenadiers acting as a, slight screen as well for further northern push. Pioneers got the point. Some upgrades for the pioneers though. The south Grenadiers skulking a bit about there, and there you go, constantly looking through here, gap in users' lines. Quick rushing for the building there, very good. Armored car neat repairs as well. There we go, management kits on the way, thumbs up there to Use. Constantly going for the car point, and Grenadiers unable to assist, forced to retreat here as Use once more gets caught off guard in off position. Machine hit by a Molotov there, and forced to retreat as well there. Good push by Kusanagi, a rather awkward situation for Use-m246 and the German army. Back hit, reinforcing healing, need to get some more stuff going. Car point being hit, armored car being blasted by the guardsmen. Mortar fire missing the mark, but there you go, that did not miss the mark. Direct hit, 2 men dead, the rest very low in health, though again, fuel point has been hit, and that, cut-off point has been hit, and thus fuel has been cut off, leaving Use a bit exposed. North there, standing right next to the victory point, and the south victory point being grabbed. The conscript sandbags down. Some Panzer Grenadier could be an idea here for Use. Of course, the Doctrine could also be an idea, which of course it does. And flare mines down, thumbs up to Kusanagi. In fact, lots of flare mines. Very good. Very disruptive for the opponent to constantly run into. And certainly very annoying too. Pushing forwards there, armored carrying further northwards. All three which are punched back on the control of Kusanagi and the Red Army. Back here, enough of on them. Uses base, still no docks, no gunnies arms in the centre, seizing it there in front of the Soviets' nose, and we got a straight move for the mechanized armor company. Kusanagi not even stopping for the T-70. He wants the T-34, most likely the 85 rather than the 76, which certainly would be a powerful tool here versus use. Humping the armored car, gunnies bring up here, flanking a bit around, no light machines for those gentlemen. We got the pioneers pushed back, unable to overcome the conscripts. They are sent packing up north here, conscript a bit unknown there. Kusanagi may want to be careful since the armoured car could theoretically pursue and wipe them out of their 2 low on health. The south, steady counter-attack here from Kusanagi. And nothing further going there for use or his base. Still no doctrine. He's going for the Pack 40 though. He's definitely concerned about armour here from Kusanagi. Very sensible. Very sensible. Going to say, covering up the flank of the M42, covering up this, threatening to surround the entire position. Guardsmen, though, not quite flanking hard. The machine could try and, oh, there goes it up, trying to run, infecting the guardsmen. Excellent there, and conscripts and packing as well. Pack 40 ready, troops reinforcing. Well, they are in fact mostly reinforced here. The pioneers just need to get going, and the South gun is there. Ooh, set off a flare mine without taking losses. That's pretty likely. Use, there we go, taking up. Some medium armor here would be a pretty good idea. There's the T-45s. May of course want to get some Stug, some Sturmgeschütze. Anti-tank grenade goes off. That mortar round though leaves the conscript feeling very sad. Center being seized with engineers. Back here though, troops reinforcing healing. Can soon go for the T-34-6, but very likely just going to push for the T-35 since getting a tank that is not that much more expensive than a Panther 4, but has a bunch more health is pretty good. And there you go. Tech slowly happening there. He is trying to dodge the mortars of Northern. He's grabbing the northern point here. Center there routed. Mortar could try and creep a bit further ahead here. There we go. Tech done. So Ludwig, when he sings the Panzers, when he finds their way here and he gets the fuel. It's the fuel, yeah. You have heard about the fuel situation, yeah? Yeah, it's not good, is it? Nine. And here was the armored car and the grenadiers there. Back here, reinforcing healing. And the south quick push up by Kusanagi, getting very close to that T-35 and giving Use-m246 a bit of a headache. Use though continues to not choose a doctrine, perhaps signs of hesitancy, or just doesn't have anything planned until a certain amount of time. I mean, he could go for festering armor for the Panther 4 model. Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be half bad. There's the T-35. And there you go, Kusanagi hit the 30-man mark going for the T-35. That's going to be definitely a problem there for Use-m246. And you to catch the conscript. And no sign of the Palmer Corps yet here for Use and Deutschland. But there you go, finally hitting his opponent's carve point and also disrupting with some telemines over within enemy territory. Very nice. Oh, and it's moved a bit too fast. Bit too fast there, Helmut. Helmut! You forgot the point. Armor Cavalry got 10 kills, half 8 of 82. And there you go, just standing defending, well, nothing effective at this point. Seems a bit wasteful there for Use, and I think he realised that just retreats his grenadiers in shame. Pioneers remaining up north here, not doing much else there. In the south, point being seized. Armored car looking to pressure up their grenadiers advance in the centre. Still no Suprema Corps here for Use-m246. And there we go. Pushing forward here with the Guardsmen engineers. And the T-35 has arrived here for Major Kusanagi and the Red Army. South here comes with the armoured car. Ground the point here, ground northern point. And he's going for tier 4. Ooh. I definitely have to describe that as being pretty risky, but Use-m246 considering the overall circumstance. I mean, just looking at certain players now, clearly he's hitting with the T-35s, but also he doesn't have a fuel lead, so it's going to take some time to get anything out of there, and I'm guessing it's going to be Panthers. Addition, of course, the issue with the Panther is it doesn't exactly have great DPS. Oh, we've got elite armor. Interesting choice there. Pioneer's wiped. Maybe we'll see some stormtroopers. I mean, those could be helpful as the conscripts and support weapons. But yeah, the Panther is going to be a bit of a questionable choice here as soon as MajorKusanagi gets more than one tank, since again it just doesn't have like the firepower to match more than one tank, despite, you know, costing significantly more than, you know, those tanks. And he's routed there, pack 40 almost done, so yeah, he's definitely looking to solve for something. He could even be stalling for the Tiger Race, though let's assume he's not that silly. We've got Heavy Mortar out here. Kusanagi having enough of this entire mess and bringing his own artillery. And bringing in an even bigger mortar. Armor car finally knocked out there. Great kill for Kusanagi. Comes there in the flank of the gun. These mortar firing away there. We got 2 kills. Half 8 of it's only 2. The south here, empty photo of the conscripts. They did not expect that one. I told you there would be a machine gun down there. Well, pardon me, comrade. Pardon me. Reinforcing healing back here. No heavy panzer corps yet. North there, guardsmen remaining on the defensive. Feel like they could be a bit more active, to be honest. I think leaving just a guard squad to defend a point there seems a bit, well, wasteful in my optics. They're a much better thing to do with the guards rather squad than defend a northern victory point. There you go, going to themselves up a bit. Very nice. Mortar firing away there. Hoping to silence the Soviet heavy mortar. Fun fact about the Soviet heavy mortar, in fact, the Germans liked it so much they straight up copied it. In fact, so did most of the other Axis forces like the Romanians, the Hungarians, and I think even the Finnish just straight up copied the 120mm mortar and produced it themselves. So, little fun fact there. Little fun fact there. Keep on getting the church. We got the Gunners backing out the back door there. Almost got the heavy mortar. There we go, heavy pan squad for Use-m246. Again, I'm guessing a Panther here. Keep on getting the Gunners. Get shoots and blows up a fairly fat chunk of the building's facade there. Hey Jürgen, yeah, did you leave the stove on? Nein, since why is half the house gone? Because the Russians have been shooting at us. Oh yeah, silly me. Means they're catching the Pioneers, the back of the conflict could be wiped. That'd be pretty painful there for Use-m246 when it's trying to put coming fire here. Close to wipe there, but narrowly avoids such a fate there. Mortar there, virtually 2-3 killed, comes caught on the wrong side of the heavy cover, though. So far, the Germans are not directing a lot of firepower, though much to Kusanagi's great luck. Moments away from the Panther, the Panzerkampfwagen 5. Comes right with the MG42. Honestly, he's feeling so much manpower. I think we get away with like calling in something else in terms of infantry before going for that Panther. More mortar fire from the Gnadenwerfer, which is a fun fact, was actually at the start of the war by the Germans rated as a heavy mortar. Of course, later would not be that, even remotely. But little fun fact there. Gunners being engaged with the T-35. Great mortar hit, almost right in the entire squad. In fact, at the early stages of all, the Germans actually had a light mortar that was roughly 50mm, and they had one for each infantry platoon. Little fun fact there. There we go, Use-m246 with the Panther, the Panzerkampfwagen 5. Meanwhile, Kusanagi is going to have another T-35 at this point. So that Panther is going to be significantly outgunned. He's going to have to rely a lot on the pack side to do most of the actual damage. Maxim flying away, is going to need some more support, but his mortar has been routed here, of course, by Kusanagi's heavy mortar. T-35 down to half health, Panther halfway done, back here, troops reinforcing healing. Mortar firing down the Pioneers, and the South machine gun holding up the Pioneers as well. They're standing about, admiring the dead cows, I suppose. Back here, the second T-35 for Kusanagi. You should also try and remember to use smoke screens with the same mortar, since, you know, smoke is pretty good support and attack here and disrupt the opponent's incoming return fire. Got plenty of manpower munitions floating. User, I think, would strongly benefit for some mines here and there. S-mines, telemines. Could do a lot of good for him. But there you go. Panzerkampfwagen 5 gefechtsbereit. Model A there, which is the in-between model between the early model, which is the Model D, and the final model was the Model D. Shoots there, trying to hit through the hedges, and no luck there for the Panther and its high velocity gun. Then it's been engaged with the conscripts there in T-35 there, rifling it off, doing heavy damage to the conscripts, but they do survive the entire affair. Grenadiers though nearly wiped up with the T-35. Panther still being hit with, getting a bit dicey here. Paxton not within range. There you go, heavy damage to the T-35 there. If you use the target weak point, he might be able to finish it off, but no, looks like that doesn't happen. Church collapses under withering and scathing artillery fire. He almost got the T-35, but he needs to be careful not to dive in too far either. And a mark targeting the Panther commits usually to disengaging with the Panther. North side can see a bit of sneaky about there. He still has the guard squad there though. That seems a bit wasteful. Panther though is not deterred by the mark target there and keeps moving ahead here. Shot bounces there from the T-35, mortar firing down there, not doing too much, but there's a small infantry. But there you go, MD-42 supporting here, keeping the infantry at bay, pack forming up here. Use-m246 is utterly fearless here in the face of Kusanagi's marked target. Mortar fire though, definitely looking to punish here, used for bunching up his anti-tank a bit too closely. 2 kills on the Panther so far, none of them armoured kills. Another mortar here for Use-m246, small Granatenwerferfeuer. Machine getting hammered there by the heavy mortar. We got 2 kills, half 8 of it 2 on that one. There you go, another mortar. There you go, ace level gained. Second mortar ready here. Engaging the T-35. I still think it would benefit for some assault infantry. Slowly falling back here now though. Could actually use the veteran free mortar at this point, I think, to shatter the enemy mortar, particularly backed up by the other mortar, since that'd be a lot of firepower you could then direct at the heavy mortar, possibly destroying or clearing out the crew there. Panther creeping ahead here. I think he's trying to bait the T-4 into the packs and maybe finish off with the target weak point. Maybe not. Further north, other T-4 obstruction are going to be pushing them back here without any support there. They are pretty much at the mercy of the Soviet army. Pioneers creeping ahead here. Panther looking to exploit this blind us up right here and almost got the conscript up there. Another machine gun here for use, but no infantry additionally. I feel like he's committing to too many support weapons and not enough infantry. At this point, he's got 2 packs, 2 mortars, and 2 MG42s. And I feel like without more infantry, this is a bit much. Even I think with 4 infantry squads, this feels a bit much. So I don't know. Not wrong here, but I do feel like he's coming into too many support weapons here versus Kusanagi. T-4 on the move here. Panther keeps trying away there. 5 kills. Veterans he won. Almost got the Grenadier squad wiped there. There you go, mortar on the Panther. And there you go, heavy mortar bomb specifically here. Looking to finish things off here. Delayed fuse mortar bombs. Since all heavy mortar bombs, I'm still here. Huh. That's actually a bit weird. I just realized something, but the delayed fuse bomb still has the mortar making the whistling sound as it sort of ticks down, which makes it sound a bit weird. Effects on the Panther losses ace mortar crew there. It's definitely painful there. Blow to use M246. Could theoretically opt for the Tigers, but at this point I think a second Panther might make more sense, though even that of course is probably stretching the definition of making sense in my book. Sandbagging up here, fixing up the T-35, back here to reinforcing healing for Kusanagi. In the far south here, Control almost right up, we got some S-mines down here, thumbs up to use Factor laying down some mines, so he's still floating a lot of munitions here. H-35 there for Kusanagi, shoots whiffs. Though obviously it's not shooting at armor, so. Good shot there. Half 8 of it, need 2. H-35 here for Kusanagi, obviously sensing there's going to be more heavy armor coming his way, having a tank destroyed to help deal with that. obviously makes a lot of sense. Great hit from the T-45, pushing straight through the sidearm of the Panther. Very good there. Shoots and whiffs, constantly being suppressed there. Machine gun there tearing through the infantry, but overall, Use, I feel like, just remains too defensively sort of situated here versus Kusanagi and just risk getting ground out, which is, you know, always the risk as the Wehrmacht, because the Wehrmacht isn't really a great defensive faction. It doesn't really suit it. I feel like here Use is making a bit of a mistake here strategically by trying to play the Panther over the Wehrmacht team too defensively. Double hit there by the pack force and the T-45 there, pushing down to very little health. Panther moving forward, 22 here, gained 10 kills. Shoots and misses, damaging the Panther here halfway to death as well. At least has the Schutzknot, getting a bit more health and armor. UC can soon go for another Panther, infantry pushing forwards with Pioneers, and they're actually fixing up the Panther there. H5 going for the Panther, it's getting a bit dangerous, need to get the pack forward to push that away. The Pioneers with the machine support actually overwhelm Kusanagi's counterattack in the center, but he's still being bogged down. The Guardsmen are still basically just, you know, hitting the dirt there. So, comrades, yes. When can we get out of the dirt? Never. Really? I don't know. But if you get up, I'm fairly certain you'll get shot. Oh. Heavy mortar on the mortar there. Hasn't recruited the other one. Panther being fixed up. Going for a second Panther here. Still would like to see some more heavy infantry, at least some assault infantry here for Use-m246 versus Kusanagi, who meanwhile has a total of 5 infantry squads, even if one of them has their asses perpetually parked by the northern victory point. Ooh, interesting non-piercing rounds, very nice. Thumbs up there to Use-m246, fixing up the Panther. There you go, round about the Guardsmen. You can see him, you can hear that. Whoop. It keeps making that whistling sound as it takes down. Weird bug. It's like someone forgot the tea kettle was on. Paxton getting the T-45 there. Second Panther ready, and getting the H-5 there. Down to half health already. On the H-5, this is not the Panther. He's kept not diving into a 5 without support. Almost got it there, but down to half health now on the Panther. More heavy mortar, almost something mortar. Again, delayed fuse ones. Panther moving forwards. But being overall held up, he can't support an advance very well here. T-5 pushed down to little health here. Panther moving forward again. But overall stopping up. Ooh, got the T-5, good kill here for Use-m246. Still the Panther's a bit dinged up here, pushing forwards though. Shoots, misses. Others should just blitz in there, but you also need to be careful of mines. It seems like Kusanagi's not mined the area there. Probably should misses the H-5's got the main gun knocked out. Great there from now. The other Panther is on its own, blitzing, but loses the Panther without taking out the thing of the H-5 there. So pretty bad trade there for Use-m246. Panther, in particular, 2-1 for a T-45 is not great there for the Germans. And then it's amazing for Kusanagi. So that was like his veteran T-45. In fact, one he has is almost veteran free. So that was really a double whammy here for Use. And again, also just highlights the other issue, which was he had no troops to back it up with. Like, you know, if he'd broken through, got in the pack 40s, for example, to support there, this engagement would look a lot more different. But because, again, he just didn't have anything to back up the Panthers with, and they just can't really project a lot of firepower, you know, they just kind of up, you know, getting wiped out. And there you go, grab the machine gun here, and even merge with it to get to full strength, as you can really use it. Well played there by Kusanagi, thumbs up, and now Use-m246 is in a pretty bad place, and I'm not talking Stalingrad, but he may soon be wishing himself there. So now he's got one Panther left which needs to be fixed up. He's going for a Panzer evidently with infantry support weapons. Kinda makes sense, but honestly I think just better off he just recruit that mortar and, you know, use them a bit more effectively with the barrage abilities, which definitely seems like, you know, one of the major issues here with Use is just didn't use a lot of his abilities on the mortars. Meanwhile, Kusanagi's been fairly consistent use of some of the delayed fuse barrages. Though he could have used some smoke himself. Panther there waiting repairs. He's also lost a Pioneer squad. So that's going to further slow down the repairs on the Panther here. The Panzerkampfwagen 5. Further making things here rather awkward for Use and the Germans. We got 136 with 366. Packs being hold forward, and there you go. Panther there for 42 ready here for Use-m246. Panther everything repairs, but again, it is barely dinged up. Will take quite some time to get back into action. So now it's going to come down to that Panther landing some amazing barrages here for Use-m246, or this is going to end up being GG in favour of Kusanagi. Like, if he doesn't like just annihilate entire squads under Kusanagi's command with that Panther effort, that's just going to be, you know, very much game over. And there you go. Did some damage, but as you might have noticed, then he only killed 3 guys, and he didn't like clear that support weapon entirely. And yep, just merges with it. Thumbs up. In fact, 2 thumbs up. Really nice use of the merge ability. A lot of players tend to slightly sleep on it, so nice to see that Kusanagi knows its strength here. Got mine stun. We got sandbag stun. Very good. He's definitely concerned about another armor pusher here, for example. So thumbs up to Kusanagi. Panther still being repaired with just 1 Pioneer squad. It takes forever. He's bringing up another Pioneer squad, though. Worth noting, user still floating an absolutely large amount of munitions. Like, he's still got 200 munitions. He could again lay down more mines, whatever. So, bit of a shortage there. More raft grenades against the conscripts. Sandbag shattered, but there you go. T-3045 to rescue back up with the engineers. Got the packs arriving here, but the engineers I think can make it difficult for use to support his infantry with the packs easily. Panther though is now more or less good to go. Gonna have to rush down up north 13, and of course remember to add the pendulum mounted MG42. There we go. Packs there punching through the T-45. The crew there scurrying the tank out of the situation very fast. Grenadiers striking and he's grabbing all in point with the other grenadiers. And the pack crew expired. A cataclysmic development here for Use-m246. Was already hanging on the precipice here of defeat. And while he can recruit the pack, the problem is he's just, you know, manpower that's going to then go towards something else, say, than calling in more infantry. And crucially, he also loses valuable experience, which is not something I think at this point can easily afford either here versus Kusanagi. So yeah, bit of a rough situation here for Use-m246. Though, admittedly, one of his own engineering when again he decided to go for Panthers. Panther ready to fire another 10 rockets here of high explosive death here against Kusanagi. Close one there though, he almost had the wipe. He almost had the wipe. That was actually quite impressive, but in the end, didn't quite land it. Sneaking about there, but with the center victory point and point being secured still, this actually doesn't matter in terms of like cutting off resources there from Kusanagi's command. But there goes now grabbing the car phone, very good. Pack's being held back here. Almost got the MG42 crew, but the last man there narrowly holds out there. We got 50 versus 366. Ooh, another great mortar hit. There we go. Ace level heavy mortar, and Kusanagi again just showing very consistent mortar barraging, whereas Use really doesn't seem to be using his barrage ability much. Holy scheisse! Grenadier squad wiped. Another stinger blow here to Use-m246. Again, highlighting just the power of the heavy mortar when used properly. Very nice there by Kusanagi. Thumbs up. Overall, she's been playing, I think, fairly well this match. Panther Norfolk here. 3 kills, close to veterancy 1. Panther pushing forward, flanked here by the T-35, which is not ace level. That is a real problem there for Use-m246 in his armor. As that's going to be a fairly high rate of fire medium premium tank there. Or premium medium tank. So the situation here for Use-m246 at this point seems to be basically just spiraling out of control here, as he just basically at this point lacks the firepower to significantly impact Kusanagi. Which also really is the major issue with Wehrmacht Tier 4. A lot of it really doesn't have amazing firepower. Like the Panther in particular, I would say is underwhelming. The Panzerwerfer is just too erratic and has too much downtime. The Sturm Panzer's fine, but 1 out of 3 honestly doesn't make the heavy Panzer Corps particularly effective. So yeah, Panther there, down its engine, pack crew cleared out. Major Kusanagi racing forward for the Red Army. Looks like it's going to flank the Panther, knock it out with this HT-45 if it, you know, hit the right part of it. Going for the Panzerwerfer, got it. H5 rushing forward, here's the T-5 draws away all the attention here from the front line. H5 yes, there we go, deals some extra damage. Almost got the Panther here, pop smoke, but he can just attack through the smoke, and there you go. Panther down, lost the T-35, but there's so much damage now done to use and just the entire map being more or less socialist. I don't think it matters. I mean, at this point, Use-m246 has lost the match and Kusanagi stands victorious. So there you go, GG game over. As always, a cautionary tale to not bother with Panthers. Like, again, I have to stress this, Panthers just aren't very good because they do not have the firepower, the DPS to match the absolute amount of time and resources you have to invest into getting even one. As long as that's going to be the issue, Panthers a lot of the time just aren't going to be worth it compared to just a Panther 4, which costs, roughly, 50% less or something like that, And, just have the same DPS, but again, you don't have to spend as much time and resources to get one out. You can also get mostly more of them out, at which point you usually get a lot more firepower going. So, yeah. Anyways, GG, game over. Hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell friends, tell a family. And, as always, don't go for Panthers. This is Imperial Link saying cheers and see you all tomorrow for a Mouse episode. Bye.